Good morning, and thank you for allowing us spend the next 20 minutes with you. This is Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. I am Henry Igwebike. In a bit, we'll be going to our newspaper headlines to see all that we have for you this morning, and right after that will be our main conversation also for today. We would enjoin you to be part of our community and have a say in what we say. You can always find and reach us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. Just to do good to all that we have newspaper headlines, and if possible, straight to our main conversation right here in the studio. We have Barrister Evans Ufeli, Barrister Law and Public Affairs Analyst. Good morning to you, Barrister, and welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you so very much for your time.
Yeah.
All right, let's kickstart today with an interesting story that we have, and that's what's happening in Plateau State, and it's about 13 killed as a mining site collapse. We have some information to that particular story. No fewer than 13 people have been killed in a collapsed mining site in Bassa. LGA of Plateau State Council Chair to the community, Joshua Riti, confirmed this to journalists on Monday in Jos. Mr. Riti, who expressed sadness over the number of deaths recorded, said that the incident occurred last Saturday. Barrister Van Sofeli, for some of us who grew up in Jos, this is a very familiar issue and situation.
Yes.
I know I've lost a couple of friends I grew up with as a result of mining collapse, tin mining, we call it
Tantalite.
tantalite, and so on and so forth. But how many deaths are too many before respective authorities do the need?
First of all, let's not ask whether the mining is appropriate.
It's illegal.
Yes, it's illegal. Yes. So when people die, when they are operating illegal activities, what is the legal implication of that? So, what should government do? Government should stop the illegal mining.
How practical is it? How possible is it?
Yeah, well, how practical is it, you ask? Yeah, it's an offense. It's just that government itself have not performed. Government have not performed because even in places where government are allowed to mine by law, they don't develop those places. And even when they try to develop it, like the Niger Delta NDDC,
Yeah.
the development still won't get to the place. So at the end of the day, what you will say is that people are losing their life because they are not professionals.
Okay.
Yes, they are mining this. The safety measures that is required in mining, they don't know. They know nothing about it. So all these issues of safety, where these multinationals deploy a lot of safety measures, they spend so much money for safety consultancy, and safety officials who will be with them in every bend, every whenever they are in those mining processes. Okay, but for the locals here, it's a primitive method. Just get it anyhow, by any means, and go sell it.
Because the truth of the matter is the geographical setup of Jos. You can literally find tin at the back of your house.
Yes,
If you just dig the pit, you find it there. And so the opportunities are there, but of course, it
I
comes
lived in
with
Jos for nine
to
years.
responsibilities.
For 9 consecutive years, I lived in Jos, so I know very well how this thing has helped so many families. Whether it's illegal activity, but it has helped the economy of the locals. Okay, so many persons have used to build houses, to develop street, roads, done a lot of things. We're not saying we're encouraging it, but we're saying that can government step in and devise a strategy through which the locals can still mind this, amend the laws, let them have what they need to have, and at the same time apply safety. That's like a tall order, because government is not doing anything visibly for the citizens that we could see, other than the fact that they just embezzle money. Those who are in opportunity, who have the opportunity, who are in positions, they are not doing much. So as much as an illegal activity, if you want to stop it, can you stop it and create an alternative for them? Or can you step in and provide safety for them? What exactly can government do in the immediate? Government must do something. And where there is loss of lives and properties, it is the responsibility of government to ensure that that is not in occurrence. because it has to be borders on security. Okay, so if we say government should go discontinue it and stop it and bring security to ensure that they stop it, the natives will revolt.
Yeah.
If you say they should continue, they will do it and be losing their lives, okay, because of the accident that will occur thereafter. So the Nigerian case is a very disturbing one. But for me, I think that government should look for a way to put an end to the legal activity.
Put an end to the legal
Yes.
activity. So what
Then
can they
get-
substitute to?
Get people who wants to do that business license and bring regulation to it.
Okay.
The natives can still do it, but they have to be licensed.
Oh,
Then you bring regulation to it that will ensure they don't lose their lives in the process. If we do that, I mean, we see where we are going to in the future. You see this oil that government is taking, it says their own. It's not their own. It's their own because there's a mining act and there's a petroleum act that says that anything below the surface of the earth belongs to the federal government. But there's a principle of law that places that resources in the hands of the owners of those land. And it's a quick plantator solo sedit, which means whatever is on the earth, beneath the earth, belongs to the owner beneath and above the heavens. That's the principle of law in equity. Now, that principle was, distorted by the Land Use Act, okay, of 1978, and the Mining Act and the Petroleum Act. Those three laws took away that which is beneath the earth, took it and gave it to the government, and left what is on the surface and beneath the heavens to the owner. You understand? So that obstruction now made it illegal for the owner of a land to mine what is beneath it. Otherwise, the principle of quick plantator solo sedit ought to have superseded those legislations. But in the body of those legislation, it is stated there, okay, that principle of law and equity is hereby suppressed for the purposes of the federal government to lay hold on whatever is the money, with the intention that the federal government will hold it in trust for the people and deploy it for their development. But that's not the case. So what you see in Jos is an act of aggression, an act of disobedience, because government had failed ostensibly in the part she had to play in the lives of the people. So the people, they're taking it by force to say this belongs to us by destiny and by origin. Whatever law you have put in place to take it away from us will not subsist in the presence of hunger or in the presence of deprivation. That is why you have militants in Niger Delta at that time
exactly.
saying you cannot extricate what belongs to us, use it to develop some Abuja that have no drop of oil. Then we now come to the Niger Delta to feed swamp, and you deprive us of fishing activities, deprive us from farming activities, you flare gas, animal husbandry, you extinguish everything that has to do with our livelihood. And then you take the resources and move to another location to develop that location. It's unjust.
But has that been solved?
It has not been solved. The amnesty issue is not, the amnesty issue they did was perhaps just to placate those who are very active in that act. It didn't go around. The old women who rely on fishing expedition, young children, and young boys and all that who couldn't access, who were not aggressive enough, who didn't have arms to threaten government enough for government to call them to a drum. Those ones didn't get anything. They are also deprived. Okay? So we must take this thing very serious. This thing has been going on in Jos for a long time.
Yeah.
A long time, because there's a huge deposit of tin ore there, and the people we have there's something they call it then in history. The plateau something. I can't remember what it is they call it, but it's been there for a long time coming. And that technology, there's a market for it. The Chinese are all over Jos. The Indians are there, and they are taking these things illegally out of the country.
Well, that's so very unfortunate, but of course, we mourn the souls of those that lost their lives and hope that the government will do the needful. But let's get to a Vanguard newspaper for today. And the big story: minimum wage states in panic mood over NLC's December 1st strike notice. And only 12 states implementing new wage, 24 states yet to implement. 10 states remain silent on implementation, and 7 states fail to give commencement date. Very so unfortunate. But let's look at what's happening on the top strip of the same newspaper. Editors call for government intervention to save the media. And also we have Shatima, 6 APC governors in Edo as Okwebalo takes oath of office. But let's take a look at the issue I would love us to discuss from the Vanguard newspaper. World Bank, IMF determined to destroy our university system. And that's coming from ASU. Basil Van Sofeli, do you agree to this submission?
What is the what reason have they given? How is the World Bank going to destroy university system?
Don't you think as a result of the advice that the government is, of course, taking hook, line, and sinker that's totally destroying the educational system in Nigeria?
The advice on what? On
The student loans, for example,
student loan.
instead of allowing for grants and ensuring that capacity building is done to ensure universities stay strong, or rather love to give student loans.
All over the world will give student loan. Okay, but it should be, they should pay back whenever they are employed. Okay, when they get employment, you should have enough data to track their movements to the point where you have to trace them to come pay back those loans.
Is it even possible?
So that no, it's possible. It's possible.
Okay.
I have a friend in the US. When he finished and he got a job, the day he got the job, he received a letter from the same day. It's automated. The moment he was clocking for the job, that same evening he got a letter from the they call it the FII something. He got a letter from them that sequel to his employment, they quoted his appointment letter reference number. You understand? That he will pay this every month and then pay grad. So that's a country too now. And so why can't we can do that? That every employer, before you're even allowed to function in the system, you must be able to get the names of all your employees and their NIN sent to a database. That database will automate to find those who are indebted to the state, to the sovereign.
Okay.
Okay. So once they get employment, they should pay. It's just that people are not honest in our country. Otherwise, even if they don't call on you and you use loan to go to school, you get a job. You should be able to walk into the office and say, I just got a job. This is my appointment letter. I want to know how much I'll be paying.
But let's not forget, Nigerians are very quick to saying it's our money in national cake. I also took part of my own share.
A very wrong way. See, there's nothing like our money. If we go by this is our money, we will not leave anything for the younger generation. You see, this loan thing, the way in France is 40% tax. Why people shout, it's too much. How can I go to work for 30 days and take 40% and give it to government? You forgot that 40% that saw you through school. The 40% that your forefathers dropped. That was why you have to go. When France is free from first degree to masters. Education is free from first degree to masters, whether you are rich or poor. So, but the moment you start working, you are going to lay down. It's huge sacrifice. And for me, it rebases society. In that way, it leaves no one poor. You understand? And then it regulates crime. It regulates a lot of things. You see, hospital is free. Education free. You don't pay. Even if they want to remove your kidney and put the kidney of fowl in your hand, it's free. So why won't you lay down? Well, see, we are not honest. See, we always call on government to do the right thing, but the citizens are not ready one day to do the right thing. Otherwise, we will say, I was complaining to you that in 2015, the estate where I voted, that the chairman of the CDA, when we had meeting that there will be no vote by him, sold his vote the night to the day before the election. I was roaming up and I said, people are not honest. If we have honest people on ground, there's no reason why we should be chasing. I mean, for me, IMF have not done. IMF is giving Nigeria the advice on the workings of an ideal society. I know that they have their shenanigans, they have their own distance, they have their own interests. But what I'm saying on this issue of loan and education, it is the way to go, because the cost of living now. See, there's no average family in Nigeria that can sponsor 3 students in university as we speak today.
Very true.
It's not possible. Yeah. So that loan come in between the gap. Let them have it. After all, we've been wasting money on so many things. All the money that Abacha have been, all those monies, why can't you channel it to the loan? All these wastages, channel it to the loan. Channel the tax to loan. Channel these things to loan. Then get the multinationals who are in the country to pay more tax to support this thing. Bring power supply down. Bring back subsidy. Because you remove it thoughtlessly. You didn't know what you were doing. So let's abridge the Nigerian situation to allow for life and living. Right. As it is now, there's no life here.
All right, let's look at what's happening with the Daily Trust newspaper. The big story here is bandits burn maize farms in Kaduna. Means of livelihood gone. That's coming from farmers. Attack can worsen food shortage, drive up prices. We are probing incident, and that's coming from the Nigerian police. On the top strip here, we have Zamfara youth to protest at DSS headquarters over bandits attack, and 16 manufacturing firms lost 792 billion naira to naira depreciation. India Prime Minister visits Nigeria on Saturday. Lassa fever, meningitis kills 762 people in 1 year. But let's look at 2 very important stories here. I don't know which we would love to take first, but let's take India Prime Minister visits Nigeria on a Saturday. Let's not forget Barrister Vansufeli. India used to be like us. Dilapidated infrastructure, economy wasn't working so good, the population was for them a problem as at the time. Today it's a new story. It's taken itself from an underdeveloped nation to one of the superpowers in the world, occupying seats that ordinarily no nation would have thought they would do that in just a short period of time. The Prime Minister is visiting Nigeria. What do you think could be the discussion between him and Bola Ahmed?
I think our relationship with India, we need to strengthen it. You know why I say so? See what Indians did. They took their brightest minds to the UK. What Chinese did far back after the Chinese Revolution, when they took them to the world powers then, America, UK, and they made sure that they sent them to study areas in construction, in ICT,
medicine,
new emerging areas that will, and the result was, that is the same thing the Indians copied. The Indians have an explosive population, and they have a very rural population. Okay, so but now premium is placed on education, engineering. The STEM, that's where the world is going to. Science, technology, maths, and engineering and maths. So that is where the world is going. Now they are already reaping. We have an Indian automobile production company now. That vehicle, Tata is produced there. The Keke Napep we use here. Just count the number of Keke Napep we have. All imported from India.
Yeah, almost 98% of them.
All imported from India. They also power bikes.
Yeah, motorcycles.
They are doing power bikes. They are doing so many things that in fact, our reliance on them now is heavy because we are not into technological all that. Okay, so coming to Nigeria to talk about, is there any bilateral? I don't know. Is there any program or any collaboration in any kind of production? Even in agriculture, they have new kind of seedlings. When your population have exploded, you need to start to think about the kind of seed you plant, because
but not GMOs.
You have to get but what is going? But see, India cannot succeed without GMO.
Okay.
They can't. Look at UK. I mean, what's their population? They need to improve yield. GMO is in the UK. It's in America. Okay. not like GMO is entirely bad,
Okay.
because science has proven that it does not affect the human body as people paint it to be. You understand? It's a way of improving yield and production for exports and then for internal use. But it's scientifically proven that Israel, they do GMO. Okay? You understand? So, I mean, it's not that. So it's the rice we buy from Thailand. How is it sustained? It's GMO. It's not natural seedlings. There's how far natural seedlings can go.
Okay.
You know, I think the composition of natural seedlings is that people should plant, grow, and eat what they grow. So when the Industrial Revolution kicked in from 1016, it was no longer possible for natural seedlings to feed human population. Okay, because then there's a need for export, and then there's a need for trade. And if you must get the yield for trade and export, you must be thinking fertilizer, you must be thinking improvements on every area.
Yeah.
So I think that we should have more of this collaboration. There's something about the Indians, and there's something about us they know. That's why they troop into this place all the time. There's something about us, and there's something about them we need to know. As I speak to you, India is still heavily ravaged by poverty.
Poverty, very well.
You understand? They just step out from I think we left the polio net.
Yes.
India is still in the polio net. I don't know whether they've left. I don't who is aware of that. They were still in the polio net up until 2 years ago. Now we exited it. Okay, so today medical science. So that's what I'm saying. Don't say you're not giving. Don't say loan. See, federal government should give more than loan. In fact, they should take some of our bright minds out. But just that we have been so polarized that they will not return.
They won't return, definitely.
They won't return. So that may not be policy intelligence. But as to loan here, they should do what they have to do. Encourage people who have studied here to have. In fact, if you graduate, they should give you incentives. It's not this 70,000 they are paying there. As you graduate, they give you huge sum of money. If you want to start a business, you start. If you want to go into IT, you can go into IT. In fact, we should have hubs for school leavers. We should have technological hubs. We have one in Yaba. I don't know how it's doing. I think it's privately owned.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we should have those hubs across the country. Once you are done with your NYC, the learning have not, and you go there. From there, you get opportunity. You can create an app, payment platform, different kind of app. Those ones who studied agriculture can, the state can give them land, facility to grow. There's a new kind of agriculture now to grow this in soilless plants.
Yes, soilless farm.
Then these hubs, you see, the federal government need not build on them. You can partner with the states. The state will build different kinds of. We'll look at the major courses we are studying in Nigeria. Okay, just look at the major courses people study in Nigeria and take that model, replicate it in something they can start off with immediately they leave. Because here we're just studying, just study. There's nothing government is putting on ground something that will get them started. They just think that the NYC is enough. NYC have no program.
Exactly.
NYC is just to train them on discipline, military intelligence, then little about because I've seen NYC people that still defecate on the expressway. Yes, so that the program has failed. So government should create something else that will supplement it.
Very, very true.
And that should be very practical.
Very, very true. It's actually magical how the Indians have been able to manage their diversity. Lots of indigenous groups, lots of languages, lots of tribes there. But how they've been able to manage it
If you go to the UK,
that it works for them.
If you go to you stand on point of entry immigration. If you see the number of Indians entering the UK and exiting the UK at the same time, you will marvel. Is that UK in New York? You stand at the point of entry immigration, you see Indians in their loads going to the UK, and they have the visas. They are moving in, but many of them don't stay. They have one or two that they have for school. They have for, their culture is so strong
Yeah.
that they just come home.
Yes.
They just come back and all that. So we need part of that. We shouldn't be escaping all the time. We want to escape all the time, because government also made this so. If they have made this place habitable and then distribute this wealth that used to buy a car for 100 and something from one person, distribute it to people who go to America and don't want to return.
Very true. Very true. There's no place like home. Every Nigerian in the diaspora desires to come back home, but the truth of the matter is, would they come back to a home where there's 2 hours of national grid collapse every other time? It's actually very so unfortunate. Thank you so very much, Barrister Vasufeli,
My
for
pleasure.
being part of our show today, and thank you also for making it a day with us on this particular segment. But when we return, Webelo, sworn in as governor of Edo State, unveils a 5-point plan. That in a beat is still Enterprise Morning. Please don't go anywhere.